R.J. Cyr Company Incorporated, established in 1958, has consistently engaged in design, fabrication, and installation of all types of conveying equipment and specialty steel fabrication. The company's mission has always been to provide the highest quality material handling equipment and service with reliability and best value to the customer. Their customers range from automotive and auto-related to food, beverage, and chemical industries. And now, for the first time, here's a look inside the world of R.J. Cyr. The year was 1958 when a dream turned to reality for Ray Cyr. A prairie farm boy who found himself in Windsor, Ontario when the war ended, was ready to embark on his own success story. Combining Depression-era work ethic, farm machinery smarts, and common sense with skills gleaned from Canada's car town and the support of his wife, Josephine, R.J. Cyr Company was ready for business.
Well, okay, 1958, my parents started this company on a little rented building on McDougall Street, downtown Windsor, which was industrial alley back in those days. Primarily installing material handling equipment, conveyors, because Windsor was really booming at that time. When I think back, there were a couple of car assembly plants, foundries, engine plants, transmission plants, and they were full of conveyors. So there was good call for R.J. Cyr Company and a number of other companies to build conveyors, maintain them. And the beauty of conveyor lines, as we know them, is they're pretty flexible. You can grow them, you can shrink them, you can redirect them, all that kind of good stuff. That was the mainstay of the business in the early years, but in order to support conveyors, you need a fabricating shop. You got to be able to bend steel, cut it. Pretty much metal fabricating is shearing, press braking, machining, welding, cutting, all that good stuff, which are the smarts that we've accumulated over the years. That's basically our competency. We build anything that you can imagine in steel, structural, plate, tubing, those types of things. Over in the corner of the shop, you'll see some pretty wild shapes that we can bend and twist, and we can make pretzels if you want. So,
in 1969, they entered the patent and track market, becoming a distributor and installer of the Cleveland tram rail line of cranes and monorail products. This enabled R.J. Cyr Company to provide customers with a high-carbon patented rail line in addition to its own standard I-beam cranes and monorails.
It's like your dad had a vision way back in 1958, and you maintained that vision. Now, you said the family. Did your mom involve initially in the business as well?
Oh, I think if you go back far enough, she answered the phone. She was a nurse, so she didn't have too many metalworking abilities, but no, it's very much, even though there's no family in it, we try to keep a family atmosphere. The employees that are here today are lifers. You can see we have a picture hanging over on the wall that we took on our 25th anniversary, which was 27 years ago. People in that picture are still here. Yeah. So we grew up together, or in my case, we didn't grow up together, and we have all had the experience of working with our mentors who taught us that don't specialize in any one area. As an example, our estimating manager started on the shop floor, and in his spare time he learned AutoCAD. So when the time came for him to move up into the front office, guess what? He brought manufacturing smarts, he brought engineering smarts, and now he's an estimating supervisor. He can do an estimate, and it's all from background knowledge.
You hit it right on the nail when you said don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification has been the key to your success?
Always has been. Sure, this is Cartown, this is Motown, but don't forget, we got a salt mine, we got a world-class distillery, chemical plant in Amherstburg, world-class food processing out in Leamington. They're all industries we've served and continue to.
By 1973, they had outgrown the original shop and moved to the outskirts of Windsor, Ontario. The product lines had expanded to include hep-install lifting devices and unified bridges. In-house engineering staff expanded with product offerings. In 1979, the size of the shop was doubled with engineering, fabrication, and installation of the addition, all completed by R.J. Cyr Company employees.
that the technology is so easily transferable from one to the other. Bucket elevators, it doesn't matter whether it's foundry sand or salt or birdseed. It's the same basic technology. Same thing with belt conveyors. And these lifts, well, this is a lift for obviously a nice clean environment. Instead of having chains and counterweights, it runs on a pretty nice looking plastic belt. It's tough, it's pliable, but it works. You don't have conventional take-ups, counterweights, or RC chain or forged chain. It's just a different environment.
It's extremely quiet.
Yes, it is. We have built dozens of these things over the years. One of the largest we built, we had to cut a hole in the roof over there because it was taller than the building. Others that have been too big for our building, we've had to rent space to put them together. But they're fixed on the ground. The nice thing about this, and what really caught our eye 6 months ago when we looked at the bid drawings, it's on wheels, it's flexible, and it really doesn't have yes, it has a conveyor on it. The purpose of the conveyor is to move a carrier which carries the final product. So without any knowledge at all of what the product is that this thing moves, we're able to build a very flexible piece of assembly device that can lend itself to virtually any industry. We had a roofer here this morning. He said, "Wow, maybe you guys could build me one of those I can tow around behind my pickup truck." And you know what? You can. You can make this thing small enough, tow behind a garden tractor, put it in a greenhouse, or put on a turntable. All of a sudden, you've got a robot that's a whole lot cheaper and a lot more friendly.
In 1983, they celebrated their 25th anniversary and focused on new markets, automatic monorails, and a new generation of hinged steel belt conveyors.
What is the maximum weight these things? I mean, you're looking at that. We're looking at those plates right now, and you got 250 times 4.
1,000 pounds. That's just that's the test weight. We just want to make sure that it doesn't drift, that it doesn't distort the frame. It's just part of the test process. But 1,300 kilograms. I don't know, 3,000 pounds.
I mean, what you're doing here, just for the future. I mean, you're talking hopefully getting into green industry as well.
There's no reason why. If you're going to tow this thing around by your tractor, just run it off a battery. With a gearbox and a motor like that, it doesn't take a whole lot of horsepower. You've got the opportunities are endless.
It wasn't long before the information base of the firm needed more space too. Office expansion in 1986 accommodated a growing staff of professionals, project managers, engineers, designers, technicians, accounting and sales, and support personnel. The 90s marked the entrance into niche markets with Venturi scrubbers, scrap metal preheaters, and the complete installation of aluminum casting plant, their first $1 million order. Matthews and Anchor Conveyor broadened our range of products.
It's only limited by your imagination. But that's the nice thing about material handling equipment. It really is only limited by your imagination. Rollers, wheels, cogs and belts, all this kind of stuff you can't patent it. We didn't invent the wheel, I mean the caveman did. There was a guy back in 1905 by the name of Matthews that took a piece of pipe and put some rollers in the end and called it a roller conveyor. And guess what? There's a couple of rollers here. We built custom rollers for all kinds of people. That kind of technology isn't going to go away because it works. It's simple. It's so simple. The way our shop is set up, we practice what we preach. We don't have lift trucks in here. We have overhead cranes. We have roller conveyors, jib cranes. Along the back wall in the shop, we've got a couple of doors. Raw product goes on a roller conveyor, gets powered in here. We saw cut it, we punch it, we do all kinds of stuff with it. We transfer it to another roller conveyor and it goes back out. We're able to do more work with fewer people because everybody that works here is multi-trained, multitask. Our fitters know how to weld. Our machinist knows how to paint. Just, if you've stuck with us this long, I drive the truck, I go out and sell. I do what I got to do because I came off the shop floor myself. Makes a difference.
Yeah, your dad was there to touch the right people.
I didn't have much choice.
Take care of business, take care of the customer. You're absolutely right.
Well, take care of business, take care of the customer, you take care of yourself.
Turning 40 in 1998, the second generation is, as ever, the product of dedication, loyalty, caring, and hard work. Although Raymond and Josephine have passed on, their dream is very much a reality, and their spirit lives on with every successful job.